Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good evening, everybody. Today we are actually in the last lecture about the Eightfold Path. This is the last path, which is called Sama Samadhi, or right concentration. Together with right effort and right mindfulness, it brings us the Samadhi part of the three parts. We have Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. So together with the effort and mindfulness, the Sama Samadhi, the right concentration, it's the part of the practicing meditation. Develop the mind by practicing of the meditation. First, I want to explain about concentration. I want to explain about concentration, but not to explain about right concentration. Just to explain what is meaning the concentration and what is the... And let's say that you will understand what the meaning of concentration, because concentration can be also nicha. It can be wrong also, if we use it in the wrong way. But the meaning, there is a meaning to the word concentration. So first, concentration is to bring something together, to collect things together. Okay, for example, if it's mental things, so it's the duty of this function to collect the mind to one object, to one specific object that is going to deal with. Okay? But concentration can be in any things, also physically. For example, if you take a spring, bring water all the garden. But if you put it in one point, it can cut this, maybe stones or something like this. You make a spritz, like a spritz like this, that you can even cut something with it. You get a lot of power in this. Also, if you take the light, you just turn on the light in your room. You get everywhere, every place in your room, you get the light. But if you make it collect all this energy of the light to one point, you get laser. And with this laser, you can kill someone, you can cut something, you get a lot of energy. But in our case, we are not talking about light, we are not talking about water, we are not talking about even karate. People, they break something with this, they just concentrate the point of the heating on one place. They can break stones or whatever. So this is the idea of concentration. But in our case, we don't talk about water or we talk about physical things. We are talking about mentally. Normally, our mind is jumping, is running, is restlessness, is thinking about past, is thinking about future, is jumping. So how to develop this part of the concentration in the mind, which is his duty, is to collect the mind to one object. And if we talk about these characteristics in the mind, this is one of the 52 Jetasika or Sankara or volition in the mind. And this duty of the mind to be collected, it's one of the seven things that exist in any kind of mind. Whatever you will do with concentration. If I want to touch something, I must concentrate. I look at you, I must concentrate. I hear you, I have to put one point. I have to touch the grass. If I want to touch the grass, I must concentrate. By the way, even when I'm sleeping, this concentration is there. And this is bringing the mind to one point. One point, one, it's mean eka. Point, it's mean gata. What eka gata, it's to bring the mind to one point is mean eka gata. And this eka gata, this function, it exists in any kind, even when you lose consciousness, must be eka gata. I give you an example. Even when you are sleeping, the mind is functioning. So in the mind must be feeling. Feeling with whatever you will do. Either you'll be happy, either disliking, either neutral. So when you are sleeping, you are just neutral. When you lose consciousness, mind is working. You are not dying. but the mind is in neutral, okay? Also volition, the wanting to do some action must be in any way. You want to sleep, the mind wants to sleep, so you have to take actions of sleeping. Also sanya, by the way, the memory. So these 7 things that they will come in any mind, that you can also good, also bad, also neutral, the functional, the mind must act. So one of these function is this ekagata. The mind has to collect himself to do something. Normally, it's not so strong. Okay, it's just ekagata, but it's not so strong. I give you an example. Any actions you will do, also when you will sleep, your muscles will work. There is no any things that you do in your life and there is no muscles. You are not dying, okay? Even when you die, actually the muscles in stomach, they are not having any energy, but they will do something, okay? So the muscles, they are functioning even if you are sleeping. So in the same way, these 7 things, any function in the mind, they will be there. Okay? So ekagata exists there anyway. So okay. So actually, when we are talking about development of concentration, we can make exercise of developing of these characteristics, which to bring minds together, to bring the mind to focus on something, that I don't be a restlessness, okay? So we do exercise. You have about 40 kinds of what we call so-called actions of thinking, meditating, okay? What we call meditate, to make some actions with the mind, to bring the minds to be together. So we have 40 kinds in the suttas, and the Suttimana, it's mentioned about 30 kinds of meditation, which the aim is to focus on one place. For example, you take artificial object like a candles. You take some disc with the water inside, and you look at it. Mantra, or whatever. You see, I'm not talking about vipassana yet. Later on, I will tell you how to refer to these things about concentration. Now I'm talking about the subject of concentration, and not yet vipassana concentration, not yet sama samadhi. I'm talking about what is samadhi, okay? Just to give you the impression about what is it and how we talk about it, how we investigate it, what we know about concentration. So, and then if people want to develop these characteristics of concentration, so maybe you look at maybe mantra, like I said, or looking at dead people or different colors. So what we have 40 kinds of meditation, but the aim is to focus the mind into one point. So what is going to be when we are doing this exercise? We are sitting, for example, you sit in a comfortable place, okay? Just how to do it, okay? How to develop this concentration. And these characteristics, we are talking about sama samadhi or right concentration. We are talking about how to develop the concentration, what we are doing, but not yet with the sama, only how to develop it. So in the sutta or in the Suttimana, it's mentioned you sit in a closed place, maybe in the room or whatever, isolate, so nobody disturbing you. And normally now you trouble yourself with it. Child is sick and you have trouble with a money problem and I don't know, whatever, someone died or I don't know, so many problems. So the mind is now restlessness. But I have the aim to develop the concentration. So I'm coming in. Normally, people, they guide us. So maybe I have a teacher. My teacher guide me how to do it. He tell me, go to this room, sit quiet, nobody will disturb you. There is not so much music there, nobody disturbing. And then you light the candle. And what should I do with this candle? I'm sitting comfortable, maybe cross legs or whatever on the floor, and I'm looking at the candle. And then I look at the candle. And maybe I will say the word candles. It will help me, I don't know. Maybe I just look at it. I can look at any artificial things imagine something. It doesn't matter. You can take this Andy, okay? Just look at this Andy. I can even look at the mouse, okay? In this case, very practical. Just turn on some candles, and I'm looking at the candle. 1 minute, candle, there. And then I'm looking at the candle. 2 minutes, the candle, and then I'm looking 10 minutes, candle. And then 20 minutes, and then 1 hour, 2 hours, and 1 day, and 2 days, and 1 month, and 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, and candle. What happened is that my mind slowly start to focus on the candle. So much focus on the candle, then I start to, every time the mind jumping, I train them, don't pay attention to this, come back here. I train them to push away the thinking and to come back to the candle. So it means that this function that is exists in the mind anyway, whatever I'm doing, this concentration, 1 point, which is existing, it's not developed like the muscles, I'm going to go to gymnastic room and to develop it, okay? So my gymnastic room is just to look at this candle. And then what happens is that slowly, my mind is starting to get into this object, okay? I give you example, okay? To see that it's actually happened to you any times that you're doing. Suppose you are staying, you go to a wedding, okay? Or maybe birthday. And then so much food, people, children shouting, the music is there, and suddenly you get very important telephone. Someone, I don't know, maybe your girlfriend, boyfriend, or whoever it is, your mother calling you. Hello. Very difficult. You cannot hear so much. Everything trouble you. But hello. What I'm doing? I'm not using the candle. I'm using my mother now. Hearing. So at the end, what will be how much I concentrate more, I can hear the person in the telephone, and I will forget the people around me. Okay, if I will continue strong like this, I lose my balance, I fell down. So that's why when we are sitting meditation, we used to sit meditation and comfortable that we will not fall down. Okay, so after some time, when I talk to the person, I will stop the conversation. People will ask me, what kind of music it was there? I don't know. I was busy with my talk. How many children run around that maybe they beat you, touch you? I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't pay attention. I was too much with my mother in the telephone. Okay? Or whatever it was there. You are not aware to anything. You're just with your object. You're concentrating. So what happens is that in this moment, you will be so much into the object that you don't feel anything. Okay? Something like if the pain is there, you press down. You're busy with your candle. You don't pay attention to your pain. So also anger, worry, doubt, all these things, they will not come so much. They will press down because you are busy with your candle. That you will be very calm, very peaceful. And this peaceful stage, this calmness is called samadhi. And that's why this kind of meditation, we don't call it because the name of the exercise we are doing, or we don't call it by the object. We call it because of the result. And the result would be samadhi. And that's why this meditation called samatha. Samatha meditation, what we have done, we increase the concentration. Okay? Sorry, 1 moment, I close the door. Sure. Sorry. So now you see, we are talking about development of concentration. This is like development of anything. Like if I want to refer to, I want to explain what I'm feeling. I don't need to explain too much. What can I say? I can say only 1 word. Okay? And soon I explain what I mean. I'm sitting in meditation in the front of the candles and develop and slowly concentration coming up. what happened is that in my mind, 5 things, I told you that the 5 hindrances push down. Okay, they push down because I'm busy with my candle. But what will be is that it will be 5 things that they will develop because of this exercise. One thing is because normally I'm restlessness. I don't have difficult for me to concentrate on things. But one thing which will develop now, it's the ability that if people will ask me to pay attention to something, I will be able to do it. I'm not so much confused. I'm very focused. So if someone will tell me, Ofer, look at the table. So immediately I can look at the table, okay? Because I'm not confusing, I'm not the restlessness, I'm not traveling with my money now, I don't travel with my son. I train myself to focus on one place. So if they comment me, Ofer, look at the picture. Immediately I can look at the picture. Ofer, look at whatever it is, rabbit in the fields. Immediately I can refer to it. This means I will be able to think about something when they ask me to do it. And thinking, it's called vitaka. It means that this vitaka, this ability to first attention. For example, you do standing, standing, standing. Easy. Immediately you go to your standing. You don't get confused. Okay? You say to your sitting, immediately you can come to the object which you are wanting. Okay? So they show you maybe the table or the kitchen. They say, look at this, look at that, look at that. Easy. Tick, 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 tick. Not get confused. Very fast, I can immediately, without hesitation, go to what they ask me. So this will call vitaka. Okay? First attention. Another things which you will develop, that is the object. They say, look at the finger. Immediately I can go to the finger because I developed the concentration and I'm not confusing. So now, if this finger will start to move, I will be able to follow it. No problem. Easy. The rabbit will start to run on the fields, I can follow it. For example, turning, turning, turning. Easy. Raising, raising, raising. Why? Because this concentration of development is building this kind of characteristics of what we call vichara. Vichara, so vitaka, it's the first attention, go to the end, okay? And then turning, or look at the standing, and then in, up. You can follow all the in, up without confusing. The movement of the legs, you will be able to follow it because you don't get confused. So this is called vichara, okay? Vitaka and vichara. Another things we develop in us is like a rapture, like a trance, like a joyful, sometimes people cry with happy feeling. Sometimes the body starts to move. Sometimes maybe jogging, okay? Sometimes you see picture, color, light, images. I think you experience. I give you another example. What is mean piti? Piti, its characteristics, it's the trance. People may experience it when they take drugs, okay? But also when mama is holding the little baby, she's so excited. So she also feeling pity. Maybe she start to cry. So, I'm happy. I meet my good friend. So I'm very happy. Okay? So this kind of excitement, it's called pity. So this is another things we develop in us. And then another things, I will feel happy because all the hindrances is pushed down under the concentration. Okay? Okay, so you want me to turn down the volume? Okay. Now it's okay?
Very good.
Now better? Okay. Sure. Good? Sure. Okay, so now it's okay, yeah? Yeah. Okay. So I say another things which develop, it's the happy feeling, okay? It's just excited because you got into this position feeling, happy feeling coming in you. And the last things, it's the ability to focus on one place. If they ask you to look at one place long time, no problem for you. So actually what happened is that this kind of 5 things, Vitakka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha, and Ekaggata, which is the first attention, like I said, standing. It's developed. They continue, like in up, okay? This is we call Vichara, okay? When something moves, you can follow it. And then Piti, the object, Sukha, it's the happy feeling. And Ekaggata, the one object, is also to focus on one object. So this is 5 things which it developed. Now suppose the teacher will ask you, oh, well, what kind of experience you have? You don't need to tell them so much story. I go there, just tell them one name. I got into 1 kilogram. No, sorry, no 1 kilogram. I got into 1 liter. No, 1 liter. No 1 liter. I got into 1 kilometer. No. You see everything, you have measurement. So concentration also we have measurement. This means 1 jhana, the first jhana. Okay? So now you don't get, when people talk about first jhana, second jhana, you just understand that if someone practices strong concentration, you measure the mind by these 5 things. You don't need to explain, I got Vitakka, not too much story. You just say, first jhana, already they understand these 5 elements is very well developed inside. Now, the teacher will say, so continue practice meditation. Continue look at the candle. So you look at the candle. After you reach to the first jhana, you continue. Candle. 1 minute. Candle. 2 minutes. Candle. 10 minutes. 20 minutes. 1 day, 2 days. Okay, 1 hour or 2 hours, 1 day. This is how it's explained in the sutta, by the way. How it's explained in the Visuddhimagga. How to practice, okay? So that's why I talk like this. And then 1 year, 2 years. What happened is that because you focus so much on one object in the candle, so you will not be so flexible if I ask you to change the object of looking at. For example, if I tell you, look at the picture, you look at the picture. But if I tell you now, look at other things, it will be difficult for you to move because you are so much with the picture. You develop this concentration so much that you will not be flexible to jump from one thing to another. It means that Vitakka will disappear. So you start with Vichara, because if you look at the same candle, but I move the candle, then you can follow. But you will not be able to jump to another object. Okay? Something like your flexibility will reduce because you are now focused so much. So what happens is that now Vitakka will disappear. So now, if the teacher asks you what you're experiencing now, you don't need to tell them my Vitakka disappear. You just tell them that I'm in the 2nd kilometer. Second liter. No. In the 2nd jhana. Okay? It means that now you jump to the next step. Now, if you continue with this, whatever it will be is that even PT will go down. You continue 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 day, 2 days. Also, PT will disappear. Then it means that you jump to the next step, which is the 3rd jhana. Continue this drop. Also, the feeling of we say sukha. Okay, and the Vitakka will disappear first. This is 1st jhana, 2nd jhana, 3rd jhana, 4th jhana, and then the happy feeling. The last moment will disappear, and then you come to neutrality feeling, but focus on one thing. Okay? So, in this case, this is the 5th jhana. Now, you see something very interesting. Sometimes if you hear about jhana, you say, but there is only 4 jhana. There is no 5 jhana. Why? Because this is just a different how they describe in Sutta and Abhidhamma. In the Abhidhamma, they describe like I describe now. In the first jhana, the first power of the concentration, okay, you have these 5 elements. And every time that you practice, another element go down, okay? So then you come first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, and fifth jhana. But what happened in the sutta? In the sutta, they say that this is the first jhana. But when they start to disappear, vitaka and vichara disappearing together. This is how they describe it. Something like in the moment that your ability to stay standing, you will lose also the ability to make it up. Something like you will not be able to, even the moment, in the same times that you have to jump from one object to another object, also you lose the ability when the object is just moving to follow him. You're just stuck in one object, you cannot move. Normally, you have to close the eyes and just to imagine the candle. You don't need to open the eyes to look at the candle in this, because the power of concentration already strong. Okay? So the difference is just how they describe in the sutta, they say there is only 4 jhana because they say that the vitaka and vichara is appearing together. So then you come to the second jhana, then the piti disappear. It's the third jhana, and then sukha, epiphyting disappear, you come to the 4th jhana. Only you have neutrality and focus on one object. Actually, you can stay like this long time without any problem. People practicing samatha, they're practicing this idea, okay? They're practicing their ability to concentrate. But I give you an example, okay? Let's see how to do it. I want to give you an example. Maybe I will go. Okay. I take a picture. Okay? We can see the picture. Martin, you can see the picture?
Yeah, I see the picture, John.
You want to cooperate with me?
Yeah, sure.
Exam game together?
Yeah.
Okay, you are also inside here. You are a monk there. Okay?
Okay.
This is when we open the center. Just the example. Okay? Now I tell you something. I will ask you what you see. But you tell me all the time repeat the same things what you see. What you see, Martin?
People.
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 Like this, you can really understand the picture. Now I make with you another game. You use your concentration to see what you see, but you never repeat the same things. All the time change. Tell me other things what you see. What you see, Martin?
Trees.
What you see, Martin?
Monks.
What you see, Martin?
People.
What you see, Martin?
Clothes.
You see, if we continue like this, you can describe it very well the picture. You will understand very well and what is the difference between, because you concentrate on the picture in both sides, both exercise. The difference is that in the second time, you change the object. You make the concentration moment by moment, and you choose different actions. This is we call kanika samadhi. What we have done, we go from one thing to another things. When you go to the candle, you use artificial things and you just stuck on this. But you don't really know the nature. In the vipassana, this is samatha, okay? But in the vipassana, our interest is to understand nature as it is. So our object of concentration is nature. is the full foundation of mindfulness. It's the me. It's who I am. It's my body, which have different function, walking, sitting, there, whatever. It's my feeling, liking, disliking, neutral. It's my mind, which is thinking, judging, analyzing. It's my mind object, which is anger, worry, doubt, or only thing. It's meant that we are using concentration, but we are using concentration, first things, on their reality, on who I am. Second, we are changing, rising. It's one thing. Falling, it's another thing. Pain, it's another thing. Thinking, it's another thing. So what we are doing, we don't afraid and we don't push down the anger, worry, doubt, lazy. We don't want to push them. We want to look at them. But in the same time, that we will use the mindfulness on different objects, which this called kanika, momentary, moment by moment, moment by moment. We change the object. And we don't only change the object, our object is all the time staying for foundation of mindfulness, which is what is the important in for foundation of mindfulness. It's nature things about ourselves, our body and our mind. So we are looking at our body and mind with mindfulness. But in the moment that I pay attention to my rising, I will not be able to run away from the concentration. Because I said that concentration appears in any moment of your, whatever we do. But actually, I don't want to concentrate. But you don't have ability because concentration is there. It's part of the nature of the mind to concentrate. But when I'm going thinking, even this moment, there is a concentration. It means that what I'm doing, I develop concentration moment by moment, which all the time, the object is the nature things. It's reality. And then this change from samatha to vipassana, this change to wrong concentration on artificial things, which is can be even imagination, something, and focus on one thing like I show you. You see people, how can you understand the picture? But when you change, suddenly you start, if I look in, out, breathing in, breathing out, in and breathing out. So what powerful is just breathing in, breathing out? This is not powerful. Powerful have the pain, you have thinking, you have judging, you have analyzing, you may be anger, worry, doubt, loving kindness, compassion. So you can see yourself in reality. But you jump from one thing to another things. Okay? But not only this, it's very important to balance the concentration. Okay? I give you an example. Okay? Suppose I want to be swimmer. I want to be Olympic swimmer. Okay? So I say that it's very important for me to have strong muscles. So I come to one teacher, he tell me, go to gymnastic room. 5 years, develop your muscles. After 5 years, your muscle will be strong, then come to me. So I go, and then I became Schwarzenegger, become boom, 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 boom. My legs became very strong, everything became very strong. Now, I'm coming after 5 years. I want to swim. I start to go into the water. My body is so strong, but no balance. So the rocks too big and they're not. So I start to sink down, upside down. So people say, but in the sutta, they say that concentration is important. Why don't you go practice concentration? So some people, they go practice concentration, they reach very high, but it's not balanced with mindfulness. They come, this only drop down all the hindrances. So it's become too strong for them. There is no middle way. And then it's create problem. But when we are practicing vipassana, and we just acknowledging pain, patiently, what happens is that the concentration is developed anyway, because concentration exists in the mind anyway. You cannot run away. Even when you're sleeping, you have concentration. But when you do, turning. This is one moment of concentration. And then you do turning, another moment of concentration. Turning, another moment of concentration. Raising, so you collecting. So what happens is that anyway your mindfulness brings the concentration inside. But mindfulness must be in the good mind. The mindfulness is not possible for him to be in the bad mind. You cannot kill with mindfulness. People, they will be mindful, they will stop the killing. People want to steal, if they have mindfulness, they will stop stealing. But how much you will be more concentrated, you can kill better. How much you can be more concentrated, you can steal better. It means that what happens when we are practicing mindfulness and the concentration is raising up in the pure mind all the time. It means you are bringing the concentration into good mind. It means you establish this important thing, which is concentration, into the good mind. Because when you have mindfulness, it means you have goodness. There is no possible to have bad. But concentration will be anyway, in the good, in the bad, or in so neutral. So it means that you're developing your muscles, but you're developing muscles exact on which it's made, but only in the good way. Okay? So what happens is that we are developing the right concentration for us to purify the mind, to understand ourselves with anicca. You can see how the belly rising, how the belly falling. But you develop concentration, you can be very, very close to this. And then you see very clear how the rising, starting, continue, stopping, and then falling. It's another thing. Rising, continue, stopping. You see the anicca. This is Uttaya Payana, for example. Okay? You see turning. That every movement is built by beginning, middle, end. Beginning, middle, end. Then you cannot see. Sometimes you're thinking, sometimes you have pain, sometimes you don't have pain. Anicca. You don't like the pain because now you're forced to see the disliking. You see the dukkha. And then you see you cannot control anatta. So when you get close to the nature things, you can see reality as it is, anicca, dukkha, anatta, which is the insight of the vipassana. But this must come with khanika samadhi, momentary concentration, which this is what we call right concentration. It's coming the pure mind because it's combined with mind, which go with the sati, with the mindfulness. And then you can see reality as it is. When you see reality as it is, you see the anicca, dukkha, anatta, the mind is learning to let go. Releasing, and overcoming the attachments. When you see it's not belong to me, you let go. When you see it's cause for suffering, you let go. When you see it's just changing all the time, you learn to let go. And this is the insight of the vipassana, which is must come with this khanika samadhi. It cannot come with looking at one object only, and for sure not artificial. So then you achieve the moment of visuddhi. Visuddhi is meant purification. The mind letting go, cutting the attachment and cutting the avijja, the ignorant, the attachment to the self. And then this is the end of suffering. And this must come with a combination, sila, the purity of the mind, helping us to get less confusion, less regret. Why I make like this? And then when we do good, it helps us to concentrate. When we concentrate and we use mindfulness to look at nature, we understand nature. When we understand nature as it is, we understand anicca, dukkha, anatta, we letting go. And letting go, cutting the attachment this is the end of the suffering. This is the insight of the Vipassana. Now, I want to show you one more things which connect to the concentration, because in the Sutta it's written that we read the concentration in the need concentration of first jhana, second jhana, third jhana to develop, combined with mindfulness to clean the mind. But I want to show you one more thing. Okay? And for this, I tell you a story. Okay? I wanted to travel when I was living in Germany. I wanted to travel from Frankfurt to Munich. I did this many, many times. Because from one Buddha Pia to Dhammacari Center, I have to do it by train many times. And then I go by train. When I travel by train, I reach to the area of Stuttgart. When I reach to the area of Stuttgart, I start to see Mercedes-Benz. I start to see all these Audi. But I don't want to go to Stuttgart. Why I have to see all these things? Because it's related to Stuttgart. The factory is in Stuttgart, but I didn't go into Stuttgart. I didn't want to go to Stuttgart. I just go nearby. I access to it. I just go neighborhood of Stuttgart, and I start to see the symbols of Stuttgart. In the same way, sometimes we don't practice with samatha. We don't want to practice concentration, but occasion of the life bring us into the situation that these 5 elements of the jhana will start to bubble inside us without wanting. It just happened. For example, people go to India. They do something good. They hear some Dhamma. What happened that these 5 elements will start to bubble inside them? They suddenly became big. Something like the phenomenon of the jhana, Vitakka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha, and Ekagata, will start to develop into them because of something that happened. And Buddha himself used it when people come in. For example, many students, or some, for example, Papa from Yasa. Okay, Yasa was the 3rd Ajarn. So the father of Yasa, he looked for his son. His son disappeared. It was in Saranat. Okay, it was in Saranat. Yasa was, he ran and looked for the Buddha. Buddha told him, there is no suffering. Okay, there is no despair. Teach him the Dharma and became Sotapanna. So the mother shouted, "Oh, where is your son?" To the father, "Where is your son?" There was millionaire people. Okay, so the mother said, "Go after your son, look for your son." So the father ran because the son Yasa, he go with the golden shoes. So the father ran after the steps of the golden shoes to look for his son, and then he come in the front of the Buddha. So what the Buddha will do? Buddha cannot teach this father now the suffering, the reason of the suffering, end of the suffering. He cannot touch the essence. He cannot, like he give the first lecture, the Dhammacari Pavanatana Sutta, turning the words of Dhamma. He told the 5 students directly, there is suffering. You suffer because you're ignorant, and you have to clean your ignorance and then the practice. But this father, he don't have the interest about it. He just appealed. He's a rich man. How can the Buddha teach him these kind of things? So what the Buddha make? The Buddha told them, mister, when you do dana, you will be pure of the mind, you will be happy, you can be angels, the life of the angels is very happy. So he was hearing this kind of goodness, he was so happy. What happened to him? He got into access concentration. He came nearby Stuttgart, nearby the jhana. But he didn't go into the jhana, he didn't practice jhana samatha. But the Buddha make this trick to bring these 5 elements. And then he teach him, when he come into this state, then the Buddha teach him the 4 noble truths. So then he becomes Sotapanna. You see what happened? He became Sotapanna with access concentration, even not with the jhana. And the Buddha used it many, many times. he brings the people, even not the first jhana, already he can go into it. It shows you that it's actually, according to the sutta, even you don't need to come into the first jhana for it. It's enough that the characteristic of the jhana, because to reach this, you need to practice samatha, okay, to make them very strong. But if you get into special situation, for example, people going to India, they see the pagoda, the Jedi, maybe they see Kusinaga, maybe they see the place where Buddha, the birthplace. Then these coming to them, these five characteristics of the jhana coming to them, and then, but they don't practice samatha. So in the same way, what the Buddha many times he talk to them on the way that these five elements of the jhana will come. So this called access. Okay? They come to the neighborhood of the jhana, and from this, the Buddha put them into the Dharma, make them Sotapan, Sakatagami, change them. Okay? So I just wanted to show you that in the sutta itself, even not need to go into the first jhana for this. But in the Abhidhamma, they mentioned that first jhana must be. Okay, so it's just about the characteristics of the jhana. So this is actually the what we call right concentration to help us to clean the mind with the Eightfold Path. It's developing the concentration, but not purposely just for the concentration with one point. Must be the object must be reality and must be changing from one object to another, anicca, okay, or we call it kanika, momentary concentration, like I said, thinking, heel up, it's one thing, lifting, another thing, forwarding, another thing. So you can see anicca to Canada. Anyone have questions?
Ajarn?
Yes, please.
So when you have Kanika Samadhi,
Yeah.
does this then bring Sampajana, clear comprehension, or are they the same or different?
Yeah, of course. Because when you use Kanika Samadhi, you have the mindfulness there. In the mindfulness, there is the knowing why you are doing it. You have the knowing why, because there is a memory there. Okay, there is a thinking there. So you know, you have comprehension about what you are doing, how you are doing, where you are doing, and this is, I'm just a body and mind, which is, it's not I really. It's okay, this is the insight that comes. And this is part of what we call sati, the mindfulness. The way that we apply, it's not just focusing, rising, falling, opposite. I know that I'm sitting here. So the concentration, it's not focused on one object only. Yeah? But when you develop, automatically the focusing is there, but the mind is flexible to jump from one thing to another thing. It's one thing that I focus very, very strongly on the rising, very, very strong on the falling, very, very strong on the pain. You understand? So the mind is able to be neutral and to watch on all these elements that happen. You understand? Because you develop it, concentration with mindfulness. That's why you let it grow by itself. If you focus all the time, you train the mind to be stiff. Then it's difficult for him to move. You understand?
Thank you, Ajarn.
Well done. Yes, please.
Ofer?
Yeah.
I have a question. In the suttas, and also in Abhidhamma, the Buddha, as a part of the Noble Eightfold Path, he says, Samadhi, what is Samadhi? The four jhanas. This is very clear. And Kanika Samadhi, the first time, appears in the Visuddhimagga, about 1,000 years later. And it's not in the Abhidhamma, which was already much later, but it's only in the Visuddhimagga, is Kanika Samadhi, momentary concentration. So I wonder, it's the Buddha says you need the four jhanas. It's like, okay, you cannot skip sila, you cannot skip anything. You need all the eight parts of the Noble Eightfold Path. And yet, Ajarn teaches Kanika Samadhi, which is only first time mentioned 1,000 years later. Why? Was it to protect people? Or, I mean, you said very explicitly how it works, but I wonder, is it better than what the Buddha says?
No.
This is, I'm not serious, but
Same but different. Same but different. Kanika Samadhi, it's not mean you don't need at least jhana. But if you are stuck only in the jhana, okay, you press down their hindrances, you will never be able to see this. That's why when you practice vipassana, you go up and down, up and down. You must get out from the characteristics of the jhana so you can apply about it. You understand? But the power is still there because the 5 characteristics of the jhana is still there. Also, when you go to access concentration, you understand? So it means in the Kanika Samadhi, you use this jhana. You understand what I mean? You apply to the point of different point with the first jhana, second jhana, third. It depends on your ability. It doesn't matter. First jhana, it's enough. I told you that in the sutta, even no need really first jhana, just access concentration. It means you need concentration on the way that you need the 5 characteristics of the jhana. Okay, so first jhana is the 5 characteristics. If we talk like this, well, this is what the Buddha used. I gave the father of Yasa. It's only one, but many people use it. Many people use this way. He could not teach them immediately the 4 noble truths. It's too difficult for people to hear that there is dukkha. So we have to first to talk to them how beautiful is the life and how beautiful charity or sending metta or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So they're happy. When they're happy, so it means that they touch the 5 characteristics. But then you apply into the vipassana. You understand? So it's true. That must be this characteristic of the jhana. Otherwise, you cannot get. You understand? So they are not against each other. That. You understand?
Hi, Prof.
Hello. Guten Abend.
Guten Abend. I just wanted to add something to what Marcus said. I think once, I cannot find it now, but I think in the Patisambhida Magga, it tells about Kanika Samadhi or how.
Yeah, this is
No?
Patisambhida, it's I don't know exactly, but okay, Marcus said it now.
I think the commentary to the Patisambhida, but I can't remember where now.
Okay, I cannot refer to it because I don't relate and we have to look for this. But Marcus say probably no, he say no.
Yeah, I checked it. It's the first time in Buddha Gosa, who's basically making a commentary building on Patisambhida and the Vimuttimagga, and this is the first time it shows up, the Kanika Samadhi.
Okay, but it's not like against each other. It's not going again. They don't crash to each other.
Okay.
They are something like completing. They are completing each other. They are they have some kind of marriage together. Because you need the 5 characteristics of the jhana. It's not possible without. Otherwise, but you are coming, going. You cannot stay all the time.
Then the other question I wanted to ask Prabhupada is that I have this huge phobia for blood and nerves and all these things which are inside the body. I don't know. I don't like to see them at all. So that day I saw in the news about some case in the US where just one girl who was going on the train was stabbed in the neck suddenly by one man, and I couldn't sleep for days after seeing this because of this phobia. Do you know what I can do about it? Like, even if I practice mindfulness, it doesn't go away.
It will go. It takes some time because it's something like a karma with the anosaya that they take the mind together. Karma with anosaya, something that you have done in the past together with the anosaya, maybe fear or worry. And then this karma and the anosaya, they are affecting the mind in this way. But when you will practice more vipassana, this kind of phobia, they will go. Every person, I saw one time when I was in Thailand, it was one girl, we cannot cross the temple. It was a small temple. We have to go from one side, one gate to another gate. We could not cross together with her. She afraid from chicken. Okay, another day for snail. They have trauma for snail. So you don't know, this is from past something that we have done or whatever. So it can be referred to two things. One, it's anosaya, it's mean the fear, the kilesa. And the other things, it's the karma that you have done in the past. So one thing you can do is just send the merits to everybody. Send to all the sentient beings, everybody. If I hurt anyone, if I did something bad to anyone, you understand? This is one thing. And all the fear, you can acknowledge it. So every time you put mindfulness on it, the mindfulness will make you use by this fear that's rising up in this moment to reduce it for the future. Also overcome it in this moment, but also for the future. Something like purifying the mind. So you don't just, I have phobia. Yeah. When you use mindfulness, so you cut this phobia. In the same time, you send merit to all the sentient beings, and if anyone that you make something bad to him or whatever, or anyone hurt you. So this is helpful, the merit and the acknowledgement.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prof.
Welcome. One more question. I hope it was clear. I tried to give different simile to make the idea of concentration. Sometimes can be too complicated, but I try to make it simple for you to understand what the meaning of this that I'm talking about and how it's related to the vipassana. And you have vipassana and you have samatha, and the name of these concentrations, samatha and vipassana, it's not by the technique. It's not, they don't give the name by the technique. It's given by the result. So it is give calmness and peaceful state of mind. This is called samadhi. And this techniques, there is a 40 kind of meditation, which making this kind of result. It's called samatha. And then there is only one vipassana based like four foundation of mindfulness, which give us insight, give us a clear understanding about nature. And that's why they call it vipassana. So if we talk about samadhi, is using the concentration into the nature things and momentary. So that's how it's help us to develop the letting go and the insight. Good. Anyone more have questions? So today we complete the Eightfold Path. Okay. Probably next week, if we do next week or next time that we will know, it will be already different subject. So I hope for all of you that you will continue walking the Eightfold Path, develop it inside yourself for your own benefit, for the others, sentient beings' benefit, for overcoming any kind of physically and mentally suffering. And at the end, super mundane, which is Maka, Pala, and Nirvana. Overcome any kind of suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Good. So, danke schön und schönen Abend. Bis zum nächsten Mal.